Hello and welcome to lecture 3, in which we're going to talk about your internal values and mindset. We're going to talk about how to create them consciously and how to select the correct influences. So it is very important, as I mentioned in the previous lecture, it is very important to create your own values and mindset and work on them consciously. Because if you don't, then somebody will most likely create them for you. So the first thing that you need to understand, the most important thing, is that your values and your mindset, it's the best if they're connected to your internal core essence, to your internal self. Because if they're not connected, then you may try to convince yourself that you have certain values, but you're not going to truly have them. Okay? Because it is still going to be inauthentic. It is still going to be working in a way that somebody else controls you. You don't really control yourself. So try to work on a habits level. Try to start creating habits and daily behaviors that are connected to the values that you want to develop in yourself. So, what I suggest you as an exercise is for the next several days, determine what are your core values. Take some time, sit and write down on a piece of paper what are your core values and how are they actually connecting to your identity, to your core internal essence. And then start intentionally and consciously taking actions and managing your behavior in accordance to those values. Now there is something uncomfortable that I'm going to tell you. If your behavior and your immediate daily actions don't match your values, those are not your true values. Then you are on a conscious level. Maybe somebody has told you, maybe somebody has influenced you to have those values, and you are willing to have those values and you are wishing to have those values, and you theoretically think they're good values, but they're not your true values if your actual your whole being is not really acting in accordance to them. And there is going to be some kind of discrepancy at some point. You're going to have this contrast, and it is going to be obvious for people. Because I'm going to mention this because this is ultimately a channel, a PR channel, right? So I'm talking about personal image or personal branding. Well, your personal image and personal branding will suffer because people will not experience authenticity. People will hear you talking about values that you don't truly possess, like you don't look like you truly possess. But even more important than this, you will suffer internally. You will suffer internally on psychological level. You will feel guilt, you will feel shame, because you will actually think that your actions are not truly matching your values. You will know this regardless of if it is on conscious or subconscious level. You will actually know this, you will feel this, and that is going to show in your behavior, that is going to show in your relationships, that is going to show in the way that you communicate with others, that is going to show on your workplace, maybe in your business, etc. It is going to show. And if you have some kind of public presence, it is definitely going to show. So whatever you want to claim as values, the way to do it consciously and intentionally is start directing your whole being, your whole actions, your whole existence, and especially your day-to-day behaviors according to those values and that value system. And it is going to be hard if initially you will have to do it consciously. Now, if you're the kind of person that the values that you want to claim are naturally coming for you, like they're your true core values initially, that's great. But if you have any mismatch, and that's something that you can do, I cannot do this for you. You're the ones that have to really look into yourself and notice that mismatch. Because if there is a mismatch, if you're claiming something as a value but you don't truly show it in reality, in practice, then it's not only people will not trust you, it's not only people will not find you authentic, it's not only people will not really resonate with you, but you yourself will feel not okay with that. Maybe you will not realize it, but you will actually feel the shame and the guilt, and that is going to have impact on your whole reality that you want to create. So work on habit level. Write it down, be very intentional, and start actually acting and putting it in the reality. And it is going to be very uncomfortable if you are not used to this, but with time you will actually, if you want to change your reality, if you truly want to change your reality in a significant way and with consistency, not just for one day but for a long term, then this is really the way to do it. Start with habits, start with day-to-day actions, and be intentional until you can afford to not be intentional because it is already going to be your habit. So ideally, you should be in a position that your values are so strong that they cannot be shaken from the outside reality, from the outside sources, from outside impact. And ideally, your choices, especially the bigger choices in life, will be based on those values that you truly possess. Because if they're not based on your values, then it is not true authentic choice, or the values that you try to claim are not truly your values. So your values should be so strong that even throughout bad times, through times that it is not ideal, there's a lot of bad things happening, that's exactly when your true values are going to show. And it is not, your values are not what you say to other people, like correction, like critique. It's not to tell to other people. It's not to say, hey, I have these values. It's not to say, hey, you should do this and you shouldn't do that. Your values are what you practice in your life. Your values should be the baseline for your decisions, for your choices, for your habits, for your behavior and action, and ultimately for your reality.